morning, everyone, and welcome to worship. It is so good to see familiar faces and new faces of all ages. I welcome you this morning with the words that welcome our middle schoolers when they gather together on Sunday afternoons. We say, come into this place of trust and truth. Come into this place of learning and love. Come be yourself. Come be yourself. My name is Laura Horn, and I'm honored to serve as a lay worship weaver today, along with our tech people, Sean Scally and Margaret Migas, who are working behind the scenes for us. The beautiful videos were created by our two video artists, Ellie Ransom and Lucy Gilbert. Our leader for Joys and Sorrows is Christine Gresser, and you will see the link to the Joys and Sorrows that she puts in the chat box. And now I invite board member Brett Gastinger to greet all of us.
Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to serve as a member of at-large on your Board of Trustees. And I welcome everyone who is joining us for worship this morning. My wife, Laura, and I have been members of this congregation for 19 years. And one thing that I love about this church is the way that it nurtures and grows amazing young people. And Laura and I are blessed to raise our two sons as part of this community. Enjoy the service. May it bring you what you need today. I'd be happy to talk with anyone afterwards during the virtual social hall.
Thank you, Breck. And now we have a couple of announcements to share. First, there is a wonderful chance to join in an annual UU retreat this winter. It's called SWIM, and that's an acronym for Southeast Winter Institute in mid-Florida. And yes, it's going to be virtual this year, December 26th to January 1st. It's an opportunity to connect with other UUs from all around the country. There'll be workshops, music, conversation, games, dancing, and a gala New Year's Eve party with dancing. It will be an amazing swim, and there's no need to leave home to enjoy it. Go to www.swimuu.org. You may see that in the chat box for a catalog of offerings and to see the schedule and to register. And first timers, very welcome. Second, remember to go to our own website, which is now as simple as uucharlottesville.org, to learn of the most up-to-date information about this month's holiday plans. And this morning, we highlight our annual Giving Tree program and invite you to purchase a gift card for a family in need. Gift cards will be received next Sunday, immediately following our Giving Tree service, where you can drive by and hand them off to Rev Linda, who will greet you at the Edgewood Lane doorway. All the details on the webpage. And now put your own greetings and where you're zooming from in our chat box if you like. And to have more conversation, everyone's invited to the social hour, which will happen right after the service, right here on this same Zoom link. And we especially invite newcomers to linger after the service to talk with the minister or someone from our membership team, or to join in one of the breakout rooms with a smaller group of folks. And now we invite everyone to join in singing our opening hymn, People Look East.
People look east, the time is near, of the crowning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able, trim the hearth and set the table. People look east, love the guest is on the way. Furrows be glad though earth is bare, one more soul is planted there. Give up your strength, the seed to nourish, that in course the flower may flourish. People look east, love the roses on the way. Stars keep the watch when light is dim, one more light the bowl shall brim, shining beyond the frosty weather, bright as sun and moon. together. People look east and see to the east. Love, the star is on the way.
We are the Landis family, and we'll be lighting the chalice this morning, the symbol of our UU faith.
We gather this hour as people of faith,
with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs.
we light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning.
In celebration of the life we share together, we light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism.
This is the church of open minds.
This is the church of helping hands.
This is the church of loving hearts.
Our congregation's chalice has been lit and will have its own screen throughout the service.
If you have a chalice in your home, please light it now.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Good morning. We gather today to give out the Connie Cheetham Award, an annual award which we give to a pillar of our church. Connie Cheetham was the widow of one of our ministers, and she came back to Charlottesville to be among her friends and became a pillar of our church. Connie not only served coffee every Sunday in the parlor, woe be it to you if you took more than 2 cookies and were a child. Connie led the Alliance to mail the bulletins every month. They cleaned the church. She led the grounds committee. She made sure to do the pastoral care, arriving at your house with casseroles or making sure that one of the ladies of the Alliance did the same. So you see that we created an award starting in 1988 named after her. And as she said in her speech of acceptance, gosh, this feels like that I'm at my own funeral and everybody's being so nice. May it not feel that way to our next awardee. You will understand that we had over 12 amazing suggested nominees this year, and even argued about whether perhaps we should give the award out to more than one person. But we stuck to the rules of the award and chose someone who has been in our church for a long time as a pillar and who epitomizes the leadership that we always wish to rely on, of someone who took us through some very tough times over the last few years as our president, and therefore but also has deep backgrounds in serving us coffee, feeding us, making sure the children are taught in RE, and many, many things. So it is with great pleasure that I offer this award to Lori Craddock. Congratulations, Lori. Your Connie Cheetham Award.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful. Oh, there's 2 things that are beautiful. Oh no, there's. What? Do it. Okay, it takes. Here we go.
I don't care about a red bag.
Here we go.
We care about whether you got a gift.
I know. I'm getting the gift out right here. Okay. There. Isn't that beautiful? Good morning. And thank you so much to Elizabeth and the award committee for naming me this year's Connie Cheetham Award winner and presenting me with this lovely necklace and pendant. It is such an honor to receive this award, especially in a year where everyone here deserves an award. I joined this church in the late 1990s and remember Connie Cheetham as the cookie lady. At that time, I was a new mother, and my growing family and I joined this church so we would have a place to call home in a town where we knew practically no one. We chose this church because of its liberal tradition and open-minded philosophy. And I've stayed at this church because of the welcoming community and the supportive enthusiasm that have deepened my connections, nourished my commitment, and provided plenty of opportunities to make myself useful. As time has passed, I've gone from sitting in the pews with 3 squirming toddlers to a seasoned committee, task force, board member, to finally holding the most important job at any church, brewing the coffee before the service on Sunday mornings. I think my first connection to this church was with our own Reverend Leah Derlin-Jones. Leah's daughter's birth is sandwiched right between my own children's birthdays, so I loaned Leah a stash of maternity clothes. I remember seeing her speaking from the pulpit, wearing one of our shared dresses, black with pink flowers. My first official gig at church was teaching the 2-year-olds down in the lower hall. I was trapped. I volunteered down there for 6 years and met not just some amazing kids, but their fabulous parents as well. I passed out graham crackers and apple juice with Amy Nash. I hung out on the playground with Cindy Mick. I put stickers on paper plates with Beth Landis. And every time I see Don Landis, the song Banana Phone starts to autoplay in my head. So thanks for that, Don. I spent many happy years teaching children's worship and RE classes. I filled in for Leah for 6 months while she was on sabbatical. I spent a summer cleaning out the RE closet in Summit House, and I can tell you we have a remarkable inventory of beads, glitter, glue sticks, pine cones, colored paper, and more. I joined the RE committee, and Carrie Berger convinced me to take over his chair when she stepped down. As my children got older, I started branching out. Jean Newland and Sally Taylor invited me to the membership committee. Dick Summers, Kip Newland, Sharon Biacco, Dan Grogan, and I poured over mountains of paperwork for the Building and Grounds Task Force. I got to know the church kitchen with Cindy Shepard. I volunteered to become a worship weaver after seeing superstars like Deborah Rose and Pam Phillips speak from the pulpit. And since I'm an early riser anyway, I happily agreed to hang out with Jim Souter and the rest of the coffee crew and set up the percolator on Sunday mornings. At every step of the way has been paved with encouragement and support. Tony Perino told me I had a nice speaking voice after I read a children's story in the sanctuary. Bob Gross goes out of his way every Sunday to thank me for brewing the coffee. Amy Wiskirk bought me a bagel and talked to me about fiscal responsibility and gratitude in our church. Marlene Jones, Gail Floyd, and Bobby Williams, and a host of others have gone beyond our connection at church and have become regulars at my coffee shop. The Reverend Alex McGee encouraged me to widen my lens and look at Unitarian Universalism on a regional and national scale. And many, many children at the holiday parties have thanked me with their smiles when we folded origami balloons together. This award represents all these moments in time and all the wonderful people I have shared them with. So many of you have warmed my heart and filled my soul with your acts of kindness like stars in the sky. And those moments have stuck to me like glitter and glue on a pine cone. It has been nothing but a joy to be part of this community, and I look forward to another 20 years of hanging out with you people, sharing coffee, and serving our congregation. Thank you so much.
Could there be a better invitation to the offering? We are so grateful for the gifts of time and talent shared by so many of you, and it is wonderful to be able to honor the special gifts of people like Lori. And I love that we have this moment every Sunday to remind ourselves that our church needs our financial support to survive, and to ask each other to do our part to make it strong. And I wish that the communication weren't completely one-to-many, because there are so many different things I'd like to say to the people who have just given so generously to the church. I want to say thank you for sustaining my church. We all thank you. For the people who I know are struggling, I want to say it's okay. We can take turns. Those of us who aren't struggling can help now. And I want to say that with faith, this can all come together. We can do what our church needs to be strong and make us proud. So I tell you that your gifts of time and talent and money are very welcome. Your money is spent with excruciatingly good care. You make a difference in the world. Thank you for supporting your church. You can send a check in the mail. That still works. Or if you prefer, online donations are possible through the website using Breeze. You can text using this text link. It's 44-321 give TJMC. Make your donation, like your love, go out into the world. Thank you.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
I'm Reverend Linda. I'm the minister in the interim now for this congregation and for all of you who join us from outside of the congregation. Let us offer a prayer of thanks for the gifts of Lori Craddock, this year's Connie Cheetham Award winner, and thanks for the many, all those people who give of themselves for this beloved community. And now breathing in, give ourselves oxygen for our breaking hearts, for our hearts that need warmth and hope. Breathe in for your hearts which break for the tragedy of so many COVID deaths and illnesses, for the hunger and financial despair of those people out of work, and for the ongoing injustice coming from historic racism. Breathe in and let your anxious minds become still and open, receiving these words of hope from the African-American theologian Howard Thurman. I will light candles this winter time, candles of joy despite all the sadness, candles of hope where despair keeps watch, candles of courage for fears ever present, candles of peace for tempest-tossed days, candles of grace to ease heavy burdens, candles of love to inspire all my living, candles that will burn all year long. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be. Namaste.
and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly, and then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal, gentle, dark, and soft and still. Bring your quiet to me. Darkness soothe my weary eyes, that I may see more clearly. When my heart with sorrow cries, comfort and caress me, and then my soul may hear a voice, a still small voice of love eternal. Darkness, when my fears arise, let your peace fall through me.
Thank you, choir, and thank you, Scott, for that beautiful anthem. And if any of you would like to join that choir, it's a lot of fun and it's easy. Scott will help you learn how to do it. We want more voices. Don't they make a beautiful sound together? If you can't find me, Rev Linda, on your screen, be sure to put speaker view on your setting so that you can see who I am as I speak with you. Yesterday, I was so happy to be in Charlottesville, to be on the grounds of the congregation for the outdoor winter crafts fun day. Reverend Leah and Caroline did such a great job organizing volunteers, and it was so wonderful to meet so many of the families that came to make wreaths and other decorations. After I spent 5 happy hours there, and as I was leaving, I realized the sun was setting already, even though it was only 4:30. We are in the dark of winter. You know, the real cold is yet to come. Winter's only beginning in a couple of weeks, but we are now only 2 weeks from the longest night and the shortest day. Dawn is coming so much later, and the sun is setting really earlier. And during the shorter hours of sunlight, the sun is so low, it shines into our windows sideways. And we are in a season with observances of many religious traditions, observations that involve waiting for the light to return. The Christian season is called Advent. Today is the second Sunday of Advent. Some of you who have Advent wreaths in your homes will have lit the second candle today on that wreath. Advent is the weeks leading up to the arrival of the light to save the world, for the Christians waiting for the birth of the Messiah. This week also brings us a day that many Buddhists celebrate as the anniversary of the Buddha's enlightenment. The culmination of the story of a prince who was distraught by the suffering all around him, and after he couldn't find the answer in any religions, he decided to just sit and meditate. The Buddha sat under a tree for 49 days, tradition has it, waiting to figure out in this world of suffering, waiting for a saving, dawning moment of enlightenment. In Jewish families, Hanukkah begins later this week. 8 days and 8 nights of remembering a story, lighting a candle on a menorah each night, remembering the 8 days and nights the Maccabees had to wait. They had won back their holy temple after a struggle for their freedom, but the sacred lamp was out of oil. And yet somehow it was a miracle. It burned for 8 long days while the Maccabees were waiting for the rescue team to come with more oil to keep their light shining.
children with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears.
Oh, I love that song. That song was written by Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary. I grew up with Peter, Paul, and Mary. They taught me how to sing in harmony. Don't let the light go out, that song says. Don't let the light go out. That's what so many people in so many religions are praying during this dark time of the year. As they wait in the darkness, they wait in the darkness for hope, for the light of salvation, waiting in the dark, wondering, maybe feeling something's not right, but hoping and wondering if better times are coming, if the baby will be born safe, if the fuel we need will arrive in time, if the wisdom to survive these difficult days can come to us, if the sun will return to bring light and warmth again. This December, our whole nation is waiting. It's been pretty dark this year, and we are waiting now. We're waiting for a vaccine to immunize us. We're waiting for a new administration that would be open for the pleas of justice and compassion to be heard. And this congregation itself, you have been waiting. You have been waiting through all the struggles and unhappiness about how things were going, about how could you talk to each other without hurting each other, about how could you find your way. You have been waiting in the darkness, remembering a time when the light was shining and where there was warmth and love. You are waiting. You are waiting. And here we are in a month of stillness, in a month of Advent, of waiting. What will come to save us? Some of us can't find salvation in a promised Messiah or in the hope of a God to rescue us. We really just don't believe that, but we do long for something that'll give us hope. What can that light be? What is our Unitarian Universalist salvation that we can look towards? In this stillness this month, I invite us all to reflect, to remember, to reconnect. You know, we have heard from so many of you this fall in the many listening circles that we've had where we've asked people the question of what do you love about this congregation? What has given you joy and hope? And in the circles, we found out that this is what you love. This image here gives us the picture of what gives you hope and light, being a part of this congregation, community and connections, learning together and working for justice together. This is you. This is what has given you hope and will continue to bring light to your congregation. And you know, I've heard from leaders in the city of Charlottesville, in recent TV interviews and newspaper stories that I've been interviewed for, the reporters always start by introducing themselves and saying, did you know that your congregation is a well-known congregation in Charlottesville? And then other faith leaders have told me, you know, We know that the UU congregation is one that is active and makes a difference, and your people are so involved. That's how other people see you. So in the stillness this month, in the midst of your dark despair or your worries, the wounds you feel or the anxiety you feel, the disconnection you're feeling during COVID, I want you to remember and recall your congregation makes a difference. For all of your turmoils and imperfections, you make a difference in people's lives. You make a difference for each other in this community of friendships, and you make a difference in the larger community, in the town, the city, witnessing for moral conscience in the face of small-mindedness, witnessing for the poor in the midst of affluence, witnessing for people of color and indigenous people and other people who have felt forgotten. Yes, you are in the middle of a dark time. It's hard to be a congregation when you cannot meet in person, when you can't maybe feel great about yourselves, when maybe you're not even sure about how you're going to be able to heal the rifts that hurt this congregation in the last few years. And yet I know that inside of each of you, you have this sense, you have this feeling. In this interim ministry, in this in-between time, in this Advent, waiting for what is coming, in this season of stillness, you sense there will be some salvation for this community. And what can save a group of people who don't believe in divine intervention, who don't have oil in the holy lamp that'll keep their place sacred? What can save a group of people who are struggling for enlightenment, but probably will not spend weeks and weeks and weeks sitting under a tree to wait for inner peace? What is the Unitarian Universalist religious path that will take your salvation to come to you out of this darkness? I believe for each of us, the salvation is in the sense of transcendence. It's in the enlightenment that the acts of grace that happen every day in this community and in this congregation, in between people, those acts that you find in community is what actually brings you the light again. It's what happens between and among you and those around you. That is the saving light, which will offer you hope while you're waiting in the dark for the light to return. You have what you need right here. You have what you need in one another, in the care of those who love you, and in your deepening empathy for those who have hurt you. I want to say that again. You have what you need right here. It's in each other. It's because there are people who love you right now. And I know those of you who have felt wounded can develop a deepening empathy to understand and maybe forgive those who have hurt you. There is power in the spirit of life, and that power calls us forward, and it dwells within each of us. Never doubt that it is within you. There's an ancient hymn which has been sung in the season of Advent. It calls on Emmanuel to come to us. Remember, the word Emmanuel means God is with us. So when we ask for Emmanuel to come to us as we wait in the dark, we are really asking for the gift of light, which brings hope and life, which frees us from all that oppresses and scares us. We are asking for us to be aware of that spirit, that power that reminds us that God is within us and among us, no matter what you would call that power. And so may our waiting in this time of stillness guide us to that light. As words of benediction, and of course, I hope everybody will remain for the social time so we can talk with each other in breakout groups, but I wanted to offer a word of blessing for those of us who are pondering the message of stillness. As we weather winds of change, may we have the wisdom to cherish moments of stillness. And as we recollect times of challenge and pain, may we remember also the graceful blessings in our lives. And as we look to future unknowns, may we have the boldness to trust that there is unimagined good yet to come. Unimagined good yet to come. And that's because of the light of this chalice flame promising us there is community to care for us, but the light that I now ask you to put in each of your hearts, the light in your heart of love and care, which will not go out even though we extinguish our chalice now. Blessings on us all.